Hi friends, it's Deanna Willison with Our Blooming Catholic Life, and today we're going to take our first look at Psalm 101 verses, 14 and 15. Just a short little bit, but we're going to catch up a little bit with a new friend. We'll explain that after we get started, but now, as always, let's do St. Francis's prayer before the San Damiano crucifix. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Sume glorioso Deus, illumina tenebras cordis mehi, et da mihi fidem rectum, spem certum et caritatem perfectum, Domini et facium tuum sanctum et verax mandatum. Amen. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Okay, friends, so let's dive in here. As per our new format, I'm going to read through the whole thing once, and then today's verses the next 2 times. Pause whenever you need to stop and reflect. I hope you have your journal handy. Psalm 101, Domine Exaldi, a prayer for one in affliction, the 5th penitential psalm. The prayer of the poor man when he was anxious and poured out his supplication before the Lord. Hear, O Lord, my prayer, and let my cry come before thee. Turn not away thy face from me in the day when I am in trouble, and incline thy ear to me. In what day soever I shall call upon thee, hear me speedily, for my days are vanished like smoke, and my bones are grown dry like fuel for the fire. I am smitten as grass, and my heart is withered, because I forgot to eat my bread. Through the voice of my groaning, my bone hath cleaved to my flesh. I am become like a pelican of the wilderness. I am like a night raven in the house. I have watched and become as a sparrow, all alone on the housetop. All the day long my enemies have reproached me, and they that praised me did swear against me. For I did eat ashes like bread, and mingled my drink with weeping. Because of thy anger and indignation, for having lifted me up, thou hast thrown me down. My days have declined like a shadow, and I am withered like grass. But thou, O Lord, endurest forever, and thy memorial is to all generations. Thou shalt arise and have mercy on Zion, for it is time to have mercy on it, for its time is come. For the stones thereof have pleased thy servants, and they shall have pity on the earth thereof. Thou shalt arise and have mercy on Zion, for it is time to have mercy on it, for the time is come. For the stones thereof have pleased thy servants, and they shall have pity on the earth thereof. Thou shalt arise and have mercy on Zion, for it is time to have mercy on it, for the time is come. For the stones thereof have pleased thy servants, and they shall have pity on the earth thereof. So if you'd like to do your own Lectio Divina completely without any insights that I may have, go ahead and stop here. God bless you on your journey. If you'd like to stay, I have some interesting notes today. You can see our psalm seems to have taken a turn, right? And now our understanding of it is a little different. Like, wait, what's going on? Why is Zion in here? And we're talking about the time has come. That sounds like the coming of Christ, right? Where the time is right. Sorry, I'm not thinking of the expression now, but it sounds like something very Christological. And this is talking about the stones thereof have pleased thy servants. That almost sounds like Jesus with we are living stones, right? And the building up of the church. Or it brings to mind our great friend, St. Francis, who literally rebuilt a church physically with stones. You can see it if you go to Assisi. Apparently, he was not a master stonemason. You can see the parts that he repaired himself, but the parts of the church that he repaired himself later, they shine gloriously. There's many saints to come to us through the secular Franciscan order, but through the Franciscan family and his example. So it's changed its tone a little bit. And recently we had bought a sample version, a reprint of a Haydock commentary. And I started out with Genesis because, well, the books of Moses, that's where you begin, in the beginning. But I've quickly found that it was difficult to tell all the abbreviations were kept in here. The majority of the book is really lovely, but I don't understand all the abbreviations. I think it's referring to the names in the chart. I did find out, friends, that you can do the Haydock commentary online. It's really just haydockcommentary.com. I wanted a print book, and for very good reason, but let's jump to the one online and pick our friend Haydock's mind on these. We're going to start at the beginning This is Psalm 101, Domine Exalti. Yes, Domine Exalti. So same numbering. Thought so, but always good to check. Notes and commentary. For verse 1, when we said the prayer of a poor man, the note here says poor. Hebrew means afflicted. This may refer to some of the captives who were just returning. And it says verse 14. And we have that thou shalt arise and have mercy on Zion, for his time has come, to mercy on it, for the time has come. So it didn't have that context at all. Or it could refer to Jesus Christ, as St. Augustine says, to whom St. Paul applies verses 26 and 28. We haven't gotten there yet. And whose redemption was prefigured by the former event. Calmet. See, the names are all written out here. David might have both in view, Haydock. Yet most believe that the psalm was written by Daniel or Jeremiah. Aha, that's by Calmet. It may have two literal senses like many other, and that's from Berthier. Great to have all of those great minds working together, and we know who they are because they're all written out in this one. And I'm just going to hold that up and show that to you. I want you to see this is the Haydock commentary online, and we'll just scroll up a little bit so that you can see what I mean. The names are all written out, where in our book we have a lot of C's and H's. Calmet is a very popular person for him to use. Let's look at verse 2. Verse 2, we had, hear, O Lord, my prayer, let my cry come unto thee. Cry is a fervent petition, though only in the heart. And it is referencing here Exodus 14, chapter 14, verse 15. And so we could take time to look that. Let's go right ahead and look that up. It's going to take me a minute. This is not a Bible that I have tabs in. Exodus 14. I really opened straight up to that. Deo gratias. Verse 15. What do we have here? And the Lord said to Moses, why criest thou to me? Speak to the children of Israel to go forward. Turn not. So verse 3. Turn not away thy face from me in the day when I am in trouble. Verse 3, the note says, turn not. We first abandon God, but must humbly beg for grace. And that's from Worthington. In verse 4, remember we had that great talk about liturgical fire. Verse 4, for my days are vanished like smoke, and my bones are grown dry like fuel for the fire. And, there's several people who talk about fire. So cremium, the original word there, denotes any combustible matter. And that is from column. Okay. An abbreviation again, not sure who that is. Okay. But then it tells us that's also St. Jerome and Calmet. And then Worthington adds that while in mortal sin, our best actions are alms. All of that avails nothing. So your prayer, fasting, and almsgiving, when you're still in sin, they don't have the effect. And we get that from 1 Corinthians 8. In verse 5, we have bread. Remember, I forgot to eat my bread. Let's see here. Haydock says, it's through excessive sorrow. I am fainting in captivity. That's Calmet. The human race is relieved by the bread of life, the Holy Eucharist. That's St. Augustine and Berthier. Sinners have no relish for spiritual food. Worthington. Interesting. Verse 6, we had flesh. Through the voice of my groaning, my bone hath cleaved to my flesh. Flesh here is flesh or skin. St. Jerome. The necessary moisture is consumed from Eusebius and Worthington. Verse 7. Remember the controversy between the different translations about which bird it was? There were 3 different birds mentioned, and they're different in the Douay Rhymes than in our RSVCE to the Ignatius Study Bible, right? Let's see what the notes say about these birds. This is really interesting. That was bothering me about the birds. Okay. Verse 7, a pelican, etc. I am become through grief like birds that affect solitude and darkness. That was from Challoner. Koth comes from a root that signifies to vomit. That's from Haydock. As this bird lives chiefly on shellfish, which it swallows. And when the heat of its stomach has caused the shells to open, it throws them back up and then eats the fish once the shells are open. That's from Bochart and Pockhurst and Haydock. It seems to be Onocrotalus, which resembles the heron. What many of the ancients have related concerning its giving life again to its young by its blood must be accounted as fabulous. And that's that the pelican would actually make holes in itself. It would bite itself and bleed, and that's how it would feed its children. But that is fabulous. That's just a fable. But the fathers have not expressed these facts as certain, Calmet, though they have beautifully accommodated them to the tenderness and grace which Christ has shown to the lost man. And thinking of Christ on the cross and bleeding for us, and that blood being part of the bread of life, right? The bread, body and the blood. See Eusebius and St. Augustine. That's Haydock saying that. As for the raven, could be also called an owl, we're not sure, or another species of pelican, so called from having a bag under its chap to enclose fish and etc. Parkhurst in, I don't know, COSE. With its prey, it retires to solitary places. So the distressed love solitude and silence. That's from Haydock. So that's what it's saying. It's talking about, wasn't that the raven one in the house? Like a Nate raven in a house. So it's actually an animal that likes to go off into the solitude to digest its food. But here it is. It's in the house. That's pretty weird, right? Maybe it's like a sullen person in your house that doesn't want to talk to anyone, doesn't want to be with anyone, but they're there in the midst of everyone. Very awkward. Not sure. Verse 8, remember our sparrow. When he stays up all night. I have watched and becomes a sparrow all alone on the housetop. A sparrow, the Hebrew sipor, means any quick-moving bird. And as the sparrow is not a solitary bird, it may here signify the owl. Does it? But these certain etymological reasons are not very certain nor important. We may adhere to the Septuagint as the interpreters do. The sparrow, having lost its mate, mourns in or near the nest. So the sparrow all alone is sad and sorrowful, like the psalmist. Okay, from here out, I'm not going to read the names. I might read any Bible reflections, but know that they're here. Again, this is just haydockcommentary.com. Easy peasy to find. Totally free. You can find it super easy. And I'm looking at it on my phone, and it works great on my phone, so you're going to be encouraged by that. Verse 8, against me. Oh, remember this? All day long my enemies reproached me, and they that praised me did swear against me, to kill me. See Acts 23:12, or to prove my guilt. They are my sworn enemies, who formerly seemed my friends. And then verse 10, it says, for I did eat ashes like bread, and mingled my drink like weeping. For could be therefore. Therefore, I did eat ashes like bread and mingled my drink with weeping. Weeping is these figurative expressions denote excessive grief. See Psalm, that could be 74. I need to refresh my Roman numerals. 6, meat and drink gave me no more satisfaction than ashes. Rolling on the ground through grief, my food was spoiled. 13, but thou, O Lord, endurest forever, and thy memorial to all generations. Memorial. Thou wilt be remembered by us with gratitude for all eternity. Or will thou punish forever such short-lived creatures? St. Paul understood this of Christ. Hebrews 1:11. Or he refers to verse 26. The hope of the Messiah gives me comfort. In verse 14, which was one of today's verses, thou shalt arise and have mercy on Zion, for it is time to have mercy on it, for the time has come. Come, pointed out, Jeremiah 29:10. Or David wishes to repair the ravages caused by Absalom, or foretells the return from captivity, and the grace granted to the church and to every faithful soul. 15, for the stones thereof have pleased thy servants, and they shall have pity on the earth thereof. They had a great regard for the very soil. 4 Kings verses 17. Hebrew dust, as it was then uncultivated. They repaired the ruins of Zion as Christ and his apostles established the church. So much deeper meaning. I'm okay. Yeah, somebody recommended Haydock. It was one of you all, and thank you very much. Lots of great commentary going on there. I love it. Woohoo! Thank you. Loving that. And let's go ahead and wrap up for today. We've been doing a prayer of spiritual communion, and our upcoming Friday series we're going to have on preparing for Mass and communion. So I thought we just grab something from a different book and use it for a while, and then we'll switch off. We'd been using the one from 33 Days to Eucharistic Glory, but now we're in the St. Gregory prayer book by Ignatius Press. It is a lot of prayers it's a book of the Ordinariate of the Chair of St. Peter. It is for North America. a primer of Catholic devotions from the English Patrimony. Okay, it's the Ordinary of the Chair of St. Peter and the Ordinary of Our Lady of Walsingham, the Ordinary of Our Lady of the Southern Cross, and the Angelicorum Coitibus, I can never say that right, Society. Again, printed by Ignatius Press, and I am on page 230. They do have an act of spiritual communion when unable to receive sacramentally. Let's go ahead and pray this, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. In union, dear Lord, with all the faithful, every altar of thy church, where the blessed body and blood are being offered to the Father, I desire to offer thee praise and thanksgiving. I believe thou art truly present in the most holy sacrament, and since I cannot now receive thee sacramentally, I beseech thee to come spiritually into my heart. I unite myself unto thee, and I embrace thee with all the affections of my soul. Let me never be separated from thee. Let me live and die in thy love. Amen.